You take a perfect setup. Your stop loss is tight. Your risk is managed. Everything you've learned says this is the trade. And then the market stops you out by 3 ticks, maybe 4. You watch the price reverse immediately, exactly where you predicted, and run in your direction without you. And something happens inside your chest. It's not disappointment. It's not frustration. It's rage, pure physical rage. Your fingers are already moving. You're not thinking about your process. You're not checking your journal. You're entering the same trade again, bigger size, wider stop, tighter target, because your brain just whispered the most dangerous sentence in trading. I'm getting that money back. You know exactly what I'm talking about, because revenge trading isn't something a few people do. It's something almost every trader does. The only difference is how long it takes them to recognize it and how much money they lose before they learn to stop. Today, I'm going to explain exactly what's happening in your brain when you rage trade, why it feels impossible to control, in the specific intervention that actually works. Here's what's happening inside your skull the moment you get stopped out. Your brain has 2 operating systems. The first is your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that thinks, plans, and makes rational decisions. This is the part that read the trading book, built the strategy, and set the stop loss in the first place. It's slow, deliberate, and logical. The second operating system is your amygdala, the ancient, primitive part of your brain that kept your ancestors alive on the savannah. The amygdala doesn't think, it reacts. Its entire job is to detect threats and trigger the fight or flight response before you have time to think about it. And here's the problem. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a physical threat and a financial one. When you get stopped out, your amygdala interprets the loss as an attack, not a metaphorical attack, an actual physical threat to your survival. It floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate spikes, your breathing shallows, your vision narrows. And most importantly, it hijacks your prefrontal cortex. The thinking part of your brain goes offline. Neuroscientist Daniel Goleman calls this amygdala hijack. Your rational brain is still there, but it's not in control anymore. The amygdala is, and the amygdala has one goal: eliminate the threat. In the wild, that means fight or flee. In trading, it means revenge. You re-enter the trade because your amygdala is trying to defeat the market, to restore the loss and prove that you're not weak. It's not a discipline failure. It's a biological survival response misfiring in a modern context. And the more you try to white-knuckle it through without understanding this, the more you'll fail. Here's what the revenge trading cycle actually looks like, broken down step by step. Step 1. The trigger. You take a loss. Maybe it's a good loss, a stopped-out trade where you followed your rules perfectly. Doesn't matter. Your amygdala registers threat detected, cortisol released, amygdala hijack initiated. Step 2. The justification. Your brain starts constructing a story to make the next trade feel rational. The stop was too tight. I knew it would reverse. I can't let one bad trade ruin my day. These aren't lies exactly, they're rationalizations your amygdala is feeding to your prefrontal cortex to get permission to act. Step 3. The escalation. You re-enter, but not at the same size. That would be admitting the first loss was acceptable. You size up, wider stop, tighter target. You're not trading your edge anymore, you're trading your ego. Step 4. The second loss, because a revenge trade isn't based on your strategy, it's based on emotion. And emotion doesn't analyze charts. It doesn't wait for confirmation. It forces entries because it needs resolution now. Step 5. The spiral. The second loss is bigger than the first, so the cortisol response is bigger. The amygdala screams louder. The rationalizations get weaker, and you enter a third trade, then a fourth, until you hit your daily loss limit or blow your account or your broker locks you out. And then, only then, does your prefrontal cortex come back online. You look at your screen, you see the damage, and you think, what just happened to me? The answer is, your biology happened to you, and until you interrupt the pattern, it will keep happening. The real damage of revenge trading isn't just money, it's what it does to your relationship with yourself. Every time you revenge trade, you're breaking a promise, not to the market, to yourself. You said you'd follow your rules, you said you'd protect your capital, you said you'd be disciplined. And then, in under 60 seconds, you violated all of it. The first time, it feels like a mistake. The 10th time, it feels like proof. proof that you can't be trusted, proof that you're not built for this, proof that maybe everyone who doubted you was right. This is what psychologists call learned helplessness. When you fail the same test repeatedly, your brain stops believing you can pass. So you stop trying, not consciously, but your risk management gets sloppier, your entries get lazier. You start trading like someone who's already lost because part of you believes you have. The body keeps the score. Every revenge trade gets stored in your nervous system as evidence, evidence that you lose control, evidence that anger wins, evidence that you're unsafe. And the more evidence you collect, the harder it becomes to trust yourself the next time you sit down to trade. Here's the protocol that actually works. Not theory, not motivation, actual intervention. Step 1. Accept that you cannot eliminate the anger. That's not the goal. Losses trigger the amygdala. That's biology. You can't white-knuckle it your way out of a biological response. The goal isn't to stop feeling rage. The goal is to stop acting on it before your prefrontal cortex comes back online. Step 2. Install a mandatory cool-off ritual. And I mean mandatory. No exceptions, no negotiations. The moment you take a loss, any loss, you close your platform and walk away for 15 minutes minimum. Not 5 minutes, not just check the chart real quick. 15 uninterrupted minutes away from the screen. Walk outside, stretch, make coffee. It doesn't matter what you do. What matters is that you break the physiological loop. Research shows it takes approximately 15 to 20 minutes for cortisol levels to drop back to baseline after a stress event. That's not motivational wisdom, that's neuroscience. You need time for the chemicals to clear. Step 3. Journal the trigger, not the trade, the feeling. Before you can re-enter the market, write down 3 sentences. What loss triggered me? What story did I tell myself? What do I actually know to be true? Example, I got stopped out on Euro USD. I told myself the stop was too tight, and I knew it would reverse. The truth is, I don't know what the market will do next. This forces your prefrontal cortex to re-engage. You're making it think, which interrupts the amygdala's control. Step 4. Set a revenge trading lock. This is non-negotiable if you're serious about surviving. After any loss, you are not allowed to trade the same instrument for the rest of the session. Period. If Euro USD stops you out, Euro USD is dead to you today. Why? Because your amygdala has attached a vendetta to that specific symbol. That's where the threat came from. That's what it wants to defeat. By removing it from the board, you remove the trigger. Step 5. Celebrate the pause, not the trade. This is the hardest part. When you successfully walk away after a loss, mark it in your journal. Give yourself a win for not revenge trading, because that's the real victory. Not the P&L, not the perfect entry. The victory is the moment you felt the rage and didn't act on it. Over time, you're retraining your nervous system. You're collecting new evidence. I can feel anger and not destroy my account. The traders who master this don't eliminate the anger. They just shorten it, and that's all you need. Revenge trading isn't a character flaw. It's a mismatch between your ancient brain and your modern profession. Your amygdala was built to save you from lions, not to help you trade the S&P 500. And when you understand that, when you stop blaming yourself for being undisciplined, you can finally build a system that works with your biology instead of fighting it. Be honest in the comments. What's your revenge trading pattern? What's the story your brain tells you right before you do it? If this resonated, hit subscribe and click this next video on screen. It dives into another psychology trait most traders misunderstand and will feel uncomfortably accurate.